Without a little delusion, you don't build anything big. Starting a company requires you to assume significance before the world confirms it. That assumption isn't modest, and it isn't neutral. It's a decision. And it's a decision that shapes how you speak, how you price, how you negotiate, how you handle rejection. The difference between shrinking, building, or self-destructing isn't whether you have ego, it's how you handle it. Welcome to Zero to Something, a place where we talk about founders' journeys, the ups, the downs, and everything in between. Today we're talking about main character energy. There are three versions of this energy in startup life. The shrinking extra, number one. This founder walks into rooms already half apologizing for being there. They lower their voice slightly when challenged. They over-explain their pricing. They add disclaimers to bold statements. They react to rejection with internal collapse instead of strategic adjustment. Internally, the script sounds something like this. Maybe I'm not ready yet. I just need to prove I deserve this. If I work harder, maybe they'll take me seriously. Think of Theon Greyjoy from Game of Thrones before his arc of reckoning, constantly trying to prove loyalty, strength, worth. His energy is unstable because it depends on external validation. He bends depending on who's watching and does scary stuff. Or think about the assistant founder trope in corporate biopics. Brilliant, technically capable, often the operational backbone of the company, yet rarely the one claiming the narrative. No single name comes to mind, right? Because that's the point. They're competent, but invisible. The story moves around them. And in startup life, this energy shows up subtly. You pitch like you're lucky to be in that meeting, and you negotiate as if you're afraid of losing the deal. You feel relief when someone validates you instead of feeling certainty that you belong. The market can feel this, and it responds accordingly. The second one is the delusional hero. At the other extreme sits the founder who believes so intensely in their narrative that reality becomes optional. Michael Scott from The Office is funny because he genuinely believes he's an exceptional leader. He performs confidence without competence and speaks with certainty without ever listening. Elizabeth Holmes is the darker version of this in real life. Her belief in the vision was monumental. She spoke about revolutionizing healthcare with unwavering certainty. The issue wasn't ambition. It was the refusal to adapt when data contradicted the story. When conviction becomes immune to correction, it stops being strength and starts becoming danger. This founder archetype often says things like, the market just doesn't get it. They're not ready for this product yet. They'll understand one day. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's just avoidance of hard feedback. The delusional hero moves forward forcefully, but without calibration. And they protect identity instead of refining strategy. And in startup life, unchecked ego burns runway fast. The third one is the empowered protagonist. This is the version that actually builds something sustainable. Erin Brockovich walks into legal spaces without formal credentials and behaves as if her presence is legitimate. She doesn't apologize for not fitting the mold. She doesn't shrink to make others comfortable. Her confidence isn't loud. It's grounded. She operates from internal certainty rather than external approval. In real life, Serena Williams has spoken about stepping into the court expecting to win. That expectation shapes posture, aggression, shot selection, recovery after mistakes. It isn't blind arrogance, no, but it's an internal narrative that supports performance under pressure. This type of founder doesn't wait to be validated before acting decisively. They assume their work has value. Their time is worth something. Their company can compete. But here's the key difference. They listen. When customers push back, they analyze instead of dismissing. When data contradicts assumptions, they adapt. When co-founders raise concerns, they engage instead of defending. Their ego fuels action, but does not block evolution. This version understands something critical. You can move through the world as if you belong while still being radically open to improvement. And that balance is power. Why does it matter what type of founder you are? Well, when you pitch from a place of I hope they choose us. Your energy contracts. You justify your pricing, you chase instead of qualify, you interpret rejection as a verdict on your identity. But when you operate from we're building something valuable and we're evaluating whether this is a fit, the dynamic shifts. Negotiations become conversations between equals. Pricing becomes a boundary. Belief alters behavior long before it alters results. And behavior compounds. How do we build healthy delusion without becoming dangerous? It isn't about becoming louder or more arrogant. It's about upgrading your internal operating system, if you will. And here are a couple exercises you can do. Number one, identity exercise. Future self anchoring. Write down the version of you who has already built what you're building, not the fantasy, the grounded, competent version. How do they speak in meetings? How do they handle objections? How do they negotiate pricing? Now, reverse engineer behavior. Act according to that version before you feel like them. Better fake it till you make it. Sounds a little woo-woo, but the reality is that confidence is behavioral rehearsal before it becomes emotional truth. Number two is a cognitive reframe. Claim versus prove. Before key conversations, ask yourself, am I here to prove my worth or to claim space? If you're proving, you overtalk. If you're claiming, you listen, respond, and set terms. Shift from convince them to assess mutual fit. That single mental adjustment changes tone and posture and leverage. Number three, negotiation practice. All about controlling your nervous system. So in pricing discussions, stop cushioning numbers with explanations. State the number, pause, let the silence work. People who believe their work has value don't rush to justify it. It's all about regulating nervous system panic long enough to act aligned with your goals. Number four, calibration ritual. To avoid sliding into Holmes territory, build mandatory feedback loops. After major decisions, ask, what is the data saying? What is my co-founder seeing that I might be missing? Where might ego be blocking adaptation? Healthy delusion requires regular reality checks. This way, you will stay away from becoming a background character, but also will keep yourself in that healthy ego territory. The hard truth is, you cannot build something ambitious while internally feeling like a side character. At some point, you decide whether you're here to be chosen or to build something that stands on its own weight. A little delusion gives you that courage to act before validation arrives. Too much delusion blinds you to correction. The founders who win aren't the most rational. Yes, they have great ideas, but they're also the ones who combine bold internal narratives with disciplined external listening. And that's main character energy done right. And as always, I leave you with some prompts to reflect on. Number one, in my startup life, am I acting like I'm trying to be chosen or like I'm here to build? And number two, where do I need more audacity and where do I need humility? Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.